uh, as growing up because Kathy was much too young to remember Larry very much in her younger years. But I guess one of the great injustices of life is trying to find a few things to say about a person's life in a few minutes. You can't do it.
Yeah.
It's just impossible to do. But Larry was filled with life and adventure, and he cared about others. And so what I want to do is talk about some things that I remember. And afterwards, if you have any thoughts about things you remember, let us know. Pretty neat. But I was always called Larry's little brother, which I kind of laughed about that because I was so tall. But there was 11 years difference between us. Of course, all of you know we had the same mom, different dads. By the time I was getting to remember stuff about Larry that I could remember, 7, 8 years old, he'd moved out of the house already. So we never really lived together. We always lived in the same city, but we never really lived together. In a lot of ways, I've told this to Cindy, Larry kind of became a surrogate dad to me. Just because, our own dad, Larry was raised with my dad. He was, an infant
Like
one.
four, 3 or 4 or
Yeah,
something.
so he and I were raised by the same father. But, our dad had lots of problems with alcohol and stuff like that, and so did very little with the kids. And so Larry kind of filled some holes for me in that way. One of the side stories I always remember, I've reminded Larry this, actually not long before he died I remember this, because he was kind of feeling sorry that he couldn't help us and stuff. But in 7th grade, Mom went to get me a pair of shoes at Goodwill. That was our store of choice. And you remember that, do you, Kathy?
Oh, yeah. I've heard this story.
Yeah, but so she got me a pair of blue suede shoes. And I'm sure with Elvis Presley they were great, his song Blue Suede Shoes.
Yeah.
In the 50s, but by the time you got to 1968, they weren't so popular. And so I was known as the kid with blue suede shoes, and blue shoes at school, teased relentlessly about my blue shoes. And so somehow Larry found out about that and took me out and got me a pair of penny loafers, which that was all the rage in the late 60s with penny loafers. You put a dime in it. And so he used his own money, took me to the store and said, we need to get you some more shoes. So that's the kind of guy he was. He just kind of tried to help me along when he could. And I want to talk today about Larry's 4 loves, as I witnessed them as a kid. His first love was motorcycles. Larry loved motorcycles. He had a Harley Davidson 740, and that doesn't mean anything to you guys, but the Harley Davidson 740 was the biggest Harley they made back at that time when he had it. And he loved riding Harleys. And one of my earliest memories is Larry taking me on a Harley, going to a movie. And I'm on the back of this bike, and probably 10, 11, 12 years old. I still remember, though, I'm on the bike and my pants are coming up on the wind. I still remember those pants just rolling up because the wind was hitting them so bad, But it was so neat to be on the back of a big Harley like that at my age. And, while bikes were his greatest love, they were also his greatest threat. He had 6 motorcycle wrecks. I remember one day being at home, and he actually got put in jail one night. I don't know what happened about that, but he got put in jail. He comes on the next day. I mean, his shirt is ragged and it's bloody, and he's got blood all over himself. They didn't even clean him up in the jail. And so he loved motorcycles, but he had terrible wrecks on motorcycles. And the last wreck he had was down by our house on 57th Avenue, and a guy pulled out in front of him, and he hit the car, went over the hood, and literally went on the pavement. And the guy was yelling at Larry for his car. Larry's about dead. The guy's yelling at him for his car. And at that point, Larry lost his teeth, broke his hip, all kinds of terrible things. So a long time, Larry did not ride motorcycles. He took kind of a hiatus off of motorcycles. And Lena, I don't know, did he have a motorcycle when you guys were in Old Town?
No, Old Town, yes.
He did, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he had one up here. Well,
I
he
know-
brought that one up here.
Yeah, he had the one up
He
here.
had 2 since we've been
Yeah,
married,
yeah.
and that was too many for
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Thank God he had no accidents while
Yeah.
I knew him.
Yeah. But I'm always thankful for that because he taught Daniel not to ride motorcycles.
Exactly, and I got it on videotape.
With you cussing.
Yeah, at the very end, when Daniel wipes it out, I'm like, oh, shit. And it's right at the end of the tape.
And this is not that
In
long ago.
Old Town,
This is
I
when he
mean,
was
in
gonna-
6
Mile.
miles.
And he was thinking of getting a
Yeah,
motorcycle.
and he took a
went to
ride
the
up.
show, he went, and he got up.
Well, what happened when you ride a motorcycle, if you don't know how to ride a motorcycle, when you ride a motorcycle, you got a clutch on the right hand, a brake on the left. And what you do when you stop, you got to push that clutch down. and the clutch takes it out of gear so you can coast, all right? I thought we told Daniel that,
Yeah.
but obviously we didn't.
Or
So
he
he gets
didn't
on the
catch it.
He
motorcycle.
didn't hear it.
Yeah.
He popped, instead of letting the
This
clutch,
is in the front
clutch
yard
go
at 6
slowly, he
Mile.
just popped it. The bike goes, boom!
On that hill, you know, right there by the corner of the house.
He starts riding around right to the ditch at the bottom of our yard,
Yeah.
over the ditches, at the
And
very bottom.
wiped
Of
out.
Yeah, right
And then
before he
he
got to the ditch, he
turned.
turned and he wiped out.
We thought he was hurt.
And I was, yeah. And
But
I yelled, oh. And then Cindy's like, oh my God.
But that's the last time Daniel ever rode a motorcycle.
Yeah.
decided not to get
We
one.
cured him of the motorcycle, thank you. And he wasn't hurt and the motorcycle just got a
Well,
couple
it was
dents.
hurt a little bit, but.
Well,
Yeah,
I
the
mean, he
motorcycle got a
wasn't.
dent.
Yeah,
So he
not
could have went
dead,
in the
yeah.
ditch or who
Yeah.
knows what.
Yeah.
But right there on the corner of the house, when you're on this end of the house, he went, phew, like we're all, and I had to tape it on.
Anyway, but
yeah,
yeah, nobody was hurt, everything was okay, but yeah, that motorcycle Larry had at 6 Mile, and, he had a motorcycle as long as he could have one.
Yeah.
After all, he got so weak he couldn't hold it up.
Yeah, me and him together, when it fell over in the garage, we couldn't hardly get it out.
Yeah. Yeah. So his motorcycles I always remember his motorcycles. His second great love was his cars. He had a 440 Dodge Coronet. Again, this probably doesn't mean anything to you, but it was the equivalent of a Plymouth Charger.
I know what it
And the 440 was the biggest and fastest car they made at the time. And I don't know why Larry decided he had to have one, but
He liked drag racing.
Yeah, he liked drag
He
racing,
liked his
so,
drag racing back then.
And so he used to go out on Highway 64, which is east of Manatee County,
Yeah.
and they would drag race out there. I remember him telling me one time that he went out there and a police officer was out there already ready for them, you know.
Exactly.
No
'cause
drag
it was
race
a
for
kind
nice
of a
guy.
place
He
where they
got
all
too many
went.
complaints the cows were getting restless or whatever, you know, so they couldn't drag race. But I asked him one time if I could drive his 440, and I think I was probably a senior in high school at the time. And he said I could, but don't go too fast because there was some tires that needed to be changed and they were getting worn out. I think that was just his way of not wanting to go fast. So I got on the highway away from Larry, and following his instructions, I floored it. And I went from like 0 to 85 in about 4 seconds.
Oh
It was
my
just
word,
crazy,
I hadn't heard this one.
crazy fast. So at that
Larry may
point,
not have
I got to about 85 miles an hour. I slowed it down, turned it around, I drove it back, and told Larry I never want to drive this thing again because it was going to kill me, you know. But it was a fast car. It's kind of like, you know, Phil took me on the Tesla with that speed fast, but it was even, you know, like,
My
oh,
God.
440, tires are spinning and everything. But Larry loved cars, he loved fast cars, and he loved old cars. And Lita could tell you, he could tell you every make, model, and year what he saw when he on the
By
highway.
a tail light.
Yeah.
Oh, that one had a tail light like this,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah.
So he loved old cars. That was just a love.
To me, it's a blue one or a green one. You know?
And I remember one time when I was in high school and I was changing a thermostat housing because I was getting,
I've heard this one.
everything was getting hot in my car.
Yes, love this.
And at the time, it's hard to explain. A thermostat housing, there's a gasket you buy, and it's a round gasket like that. And then it's serrated here, so you punch out the middle and you put the gasket on. So I put the gasket on the car and it started getting hot again. I said, Larry, I don't understand. I just changed the gasket. He said, well, did you punch out that middle? I said, no. So in
right.
other words,
It
the
was
water
like-
wasn't flowing.
It was just basically it.
So anyway, he had great fun with that for a long time. He had great fun with that. And, but he helped me a lot with my cars. Okay. Third, Larry loved his guns. He always had a good collection of guns, enjoyed shooting, and he was a wonderful brother, but he wasn't always a nice brother. Okay. Because I remember being about 4th grade, Larry came to the house one day, and we were in the yard. I was probably about from here to maybe that pole, 20, 30 feet. And he quickly turned, he had a gun in his hand. He said, Alan, duck, bang, 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 and shot like 4 times.
Are you serious? I
Yeah,
hadn't heard that
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Okay.
So I'm hitting the ground.
Dear
Of course,
God.
I'd have been dead anyway. I'm hitting the ground. He just starts laughing. What are you laughing at? You just shot. And he had a blank gun.
Oh,
And it would only shoot blanks. It wouldn't even shoot real bullets. And you had these special little blanks for that blank gun. So he's just shooting me with his blank gun, just loving it, you know. And I
He's-
panicked,
oh my
thought he was a jerk. And
so he tormented him like he tormented you.
anyway, so he thought it was great fun. And I thought he was a jerk. But anyway.
Exactly.
So Larry had a prankster side about him as well. And so motorcycles, hot cars, and guns, and you begin to see who Larry was, which you already know who he was. Kind of a real country guy. But lastly, Larry had a love for his wife, Leela, and I want to talk about that because she'll tell you it wasn't always good times rock and roll. All right. There were some
My
tough
fault.
times, you know, there were some issues to work through, but they hung in there and they made it through the hard times and enjoyed the good times.
39 and holding.
That's important. I was especially impressed with the way Leela cared for Larry in the final stages of his life, never leaving his side, being there for him.
Thank you.
And as Larry's brother, I want to thank you for that.
I loved him. I just wanted to make me comfortable.
And you respected his wishes, and you loved him to the end. And so, I want to conclude my part by just saying that life isn't easy. And as a Christian, I believe God kind of put, humans in this situation as punishment for disobedience. He cast them out of a good garden, and he put them where we are now. And so life is hard, and life has pain, and life has death. And I really hate the way Larry died, because this has got to be the most worst way to die of ALS than anything, But we have hope that life is not the end. I baptized Leela, I
Just right
baptized
here.
Larry, and I have hope that we'll be reunited in heaven with him. So I believe Larry is now in a better place, but we look forward to seeing him again. But those are
Yes.
some of my memories of Larry. I have others, but I just want to share a few as a little brother.
I'm
that
just
I
thinking
had.
about the one time when he just grabbed your pants and just got a lucky grab. You were being bad or something, and Alan's, I don't remember the whole story, but just that Alan was gonna run, and Larry just got a lucky grab and grabbed him and gave him a spanking.
I was backing off of Mom or something.
Oh, yeah, or something like that, but he just happened to get a lucky grab, he told me about,
Yeah.
and I thought that was funny.
So, but there's lots of memories, but those are kind of things I remember, those 4 things about motorcycles.
Yeah,
guns, and,
exactly.
so. Anyway, anybody
And
have some
outdoors.
kind of memories about that you want to share that you can remember? I know some people
Gave
want.
me my first car. I mean, that's my graduation present.
Yeah.
It's a Plymouth Satellite, 65 Plymouth Satellite. And then he gave, well, I guess I bought the other car from the old lady crashed Plymouth Satellite, and I got another car that was just a terrible car. And anyway, he ended up selling me another Plymouth Satellite.
Okay,
He loved his
He loves Plymouth.
Chrysler products, yeah.
that's a Dodge.
As you can see on here, that's a Plymouth Satellite 67, and the other one I think is a 66. Yeah, this was
Yeah,
the
that's
one,
the one I-
this is the
that's
one
the
that
one
you
that
got,
you
yeah,
sold,
that's
yeah.
why I had to, yeah, oh, yeah, we sold you that one so we
Right,
could
we
get a
bought it
well.
back, yeah.
Yeah, and then we bought it back, we had to go down to South Florida or something, but I had to put that one on there because we both have owned it. But yeah, that's the one.
I drove him crazy, I knew that. Couldn't stand.
Oh, nonsense.
What? When I was a kid.
Oh,
Everything I did bugged him.
really?
Well, that's why he didn't want kids later on life, because if we go to a restaurant and a kid would start acting up or something, it's like, kids, shut up, just shut up, kid, or something. He
Yeah,
didn't-
but Kathy, everything you did bugged me too. So
Exactly, exactly,
So maybe it wasn't them, it was her.
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
yeah, she wants to blame us, but it's her.
Yeah, really.
I remember
maybe
another thing that bugged him is filing your nails.
Oh, yeah,
He was at our place one time and I was filing my nails and, ooh,
yeah,
It's like
I learned
his
real
chalkboard.
quick. But what I
Yeah.
loved about Larry was his smile and his laugh.
yeah. me too.
And I'll never I forget, we were kidding about the house, and we never intended to be landlords at all. And he was talking about his landlords, and I said, you don't have landlords, you have slumlords. Because we didn't keep it up like we wish we could have.
Oh, we didn't keep
And
it up that
he
well
just
either.
died laughing, and his laugh was very infectious.
Yes. Do you remember many things before I came along at all that would stand out for you? I'd like to know the things that were before me,
Well, not me, these would be the people
Yeah,
you would
well, I
talk
mean,
to.
even you know
Yeah.
for a
Well,
long
I mean,
time.
We were pretty much gone. We never saw. No, I'll
Well,
tell you
that's
what.
right, because you was
Yeah,
only
I'll
4 years
tell you
ahead
what
of
did
us.
happen though, Leela, is,
Yeah.
and this is how, you're lucky we're here because of us we met Larry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That's right,
actually,
the church,
actually,
yeah.
it's actually because of Bobby, my first boyfriend, because
Yeah.
he took,
Took you to church.
yeah, John Mahagan
Yeah.
invited him to church, and then he invited me to church, and then I dumped Bobby, and I stayed at the church, and then because of you,
Yeah, Larry was at our house.
yeah, and Bobby left, and because of you guys, I
That's-
would have never known Larry.
Yeah.
I can remember in St. Pete,
Yeah.
Larry lived with us for about a month. And,
Yeah.
With
he
his
was-
tarantula
yeah.
cider.
He was, yeah, he
Well,
had
he
a
was looking for
tarantula.
a
Cindy
place.
loved that tarantula.
Oh, not me.
I gave him my biggest, fattest, thickest art history book, and I said, this stays on top of the screen at all times.
Exactly, no, I had no use for the
But when
tarantula.
when he was
I
in his
remember
house
the
in Bradenton, he had an
Yeah.
apartment. And I said, well, you can hold those tarantulas. I'm not going to hold tarantulas. I said, yeah, you can hold them. And so he said, well, if you want to hold him, go ahead.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I didn't know this, but and tarantulas can bite, but they're not deadly.
Yeah,
But
you have to kinda
you
get
know,
in
I didn't know
here.
how fast they were. I put him on my hand, and I had a coat on, and the creature got under my coat and started walking up to my shoulder. And I mean, I am freaking, I don't want to kill it, I don't want to go like
Something, Alan.
that. He paid like $20 for it.
Yeah.
So I'm ripping off my shirt and throwing it on my jacket all over the place. He's
In
just
my
laughing
house,
about that.
The lid was supposed to stay on.
But I never held that tarantula again.
I bet not. Oh, I remember the tarantula.
Yeah, the tarantula.
You had a ferret.
Yeah, he had a ferret when I got married to him too, yeah. I didn't mind the ferret so much, but the tarantula, when it died, I wasn't too heartbroken. But what they did is the tarantula, it was an aquarium with the lid over it, and what they would do is he'd keep like a little mayonnaise jar in there with water, and when they were shedding their skin, they'd get upside down in the water, and then they would shed their skin, and then they would walk out, and he was this complete tarantula skin. Well, when he first did it the first time, I thought he was dead. And I'm like, oh, the tarantula died. Oh, no, he's just shedding his skin. So then I took that skin, because there was a girl at work that was always doing practical jokes, and I put that in her desk drawer. And, yeah, because it looked like a
Did
real
it freak her
tarantula.
out?
Yeah, we all at the office knew, and we all got a good laugh back, because she was always the one pulling pranks and stuff, so that was a good laugh, yeah. She opened her drawer and, you know, but yeah, that tarantula, he never got another one, thank you, God. So, kids have any remembrances or anything?
Well, you mentioned the bike. I'm glad he may have saved Daniel's life.
Exactly, yeah.
Seriously, that would have been a bad deal for Daniel to be riding around on a motorcycle in Daniel. So,
Yeah.
I was very happy when that Daniel
So,
decided that was
yeah.
enough of that.
yeah. Always enjoyed talking with him about guns.
Yeah. He gave you a Tom's gun. He wanted you to have
Which
that
is-
gun.
Which is very cool.
Yeah, that was
keep
one that
that in
he
the family
found.
for sure.
And then you got that story with the medals and stuff
Yeah.
that Ashley, he told the story to Ashley. I didn't know those stories.
That's
So
very
we
cool. So
wanted
I
you to
certainly
know the
always
stories
remember
behind those.
through that and keep those in the family.
Yeah, his coin collection was another love that he had, and in hard times, we've had to sell a lot of the cut coins and guns. I do have 2 Morgan silver dollars left, and 2 Walking Liberties that I've got, and a couple of half dollars that were the year I was born, 50s and stuff, so I kept those.
What year were you born?
57.
Okay, 4 years.
Yeah, I'll be 62 next month. Yeah, but coins were another love that he had, but
Appreciate the historical stuff. You know,
yeah,
his appreciation
he
for
loved
historical
history. He
artifacts like
absolutely
that.
loved history, especially the Civil War and the World War II. Those were the 2 that he was mostly interested in. And he was always a kind, giving person. I wasn't always nice, but he always just put up with me, and he was always there. And sometimes he wasn't very nice either. When he was working at that job he hated, and he'd come home and I'd hear it all. And so we had 15 years. We had the 15-year mark. We had a little trouble, but through it all, that man was, like Cindy said, his smile was just incredible, and his whole eyes would light up, you know. And he'd give you the shirt off his back, and he loved me. I know he did. And it's hard to talk, but we didn't always get together with y'all as much. I never kept him from seeing you guys, though, when I was being a jerk, because I had nothing to do with my family either. So just so y'all know, it wasn't y'all, it was me. I shut out everybody.
No, it was me.
No,
I did
Paula,
it.
it was me. I was the
know
one
that.
that shut, and at the same time, I shut everybody out. And yeah, I never stopped him from seeing anybody or doing anything, but you guys really have always been the best family. Even, Annie Ree and all of you, well, you said it, you said your kids have never squabbled like my family's been. My sister right now my other sister's disowned me because I had decided to move to Florida to be by Ashley. But, and Paula and I, we live our lives, and we don't always see each other and do things together and stuff, but we sat the other night talking till 6 a.m.
Wow.
It was just, and it was just,
Yeah, 10
family-
years flies really
yeah, it
quick.
does really. And you're
It's
living
like,
your life.
oh,
It's not
10
that you
years
don't
since I
want to
seen
see each other, but you're raising our kids, and me and Larry are going doing our thing and stuff. So even though families sometimes don't see each other quite often together and stuff, it's nice to know that you can see each other and just pick back up and like you hadn't even been apart. And you guys have always been forgiving and like, oh, that's the past, don't worry about it kind of thing. And I appreciate that. And even though Larry's gone now, and I'm gonna be moving away, I'm gonna stay close. I'm tried. I've tried, but
Lee, the one thing that we know is that your struggles, you were struggling with finding the right medications to balance things
yeah,
out.
I'm on the right medicines.
And you really found that, you know.
I did.
and-
I
and-
got tired of being that way, and I said one day driving, I said I don't want to do this anymore. So I went and got counseling.
So-
You're right. And then of course the RA, that's been a real struggle. So
Yeah.
But we've noticed a huge change
Yeah.
in your
Demeanor.
ability to get around since you've got your new medicine.
yeah, the new
You've done
Humira,
so much
that is
better.
amazing. And pray for me that wherever I move to Florida or with Paula, by Paula, that I find the right doctors that will continue to help me with that. And that's pretty much it.
I'll
He
bring
loved
up
the
one thing.
outdoors, but yeah,
His woodworking.
yes,
You know how we all get our first baby shoes.
yeah.
Well, Larry, he got a hold of my little girl's shoes, and he made her a frame and
It was really
put
a
it all
nice
together.
picture
Beautiful
frame, and it
picture
had-
frame for Marie.
And put the brass.
And he was always good to my kids.
And put a
I mean,
picture of Maria in it. Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah.
I kept it till my house burned down, but
She lost it in a house fire.
those are the things I wish I wouldn't have lost. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
all the other stuff is replaceable. Certain memory
Exactly,
things you
pictures
can't
and stuff,
replace.
but thankfully I have a lot of pictures that she hasn't seen that she's like, oh, you still have that? So I'm, able to share those with her.
Yeah,
And
back
I
in the
have
day,
some
gave
pictures
you
for
2 copies
guys
of
and stuff,
everything.
too, and I forgot to bring that paper, but, so, what else do you want to say about Larry?
No, he was always kind to me. I mean, I didn't get to see y'all much.
Yeah,
Got to go up to North Florida just before you moved up here.
yeah, she saw me before I moved up here.
I was living in Kentucky, but my husband was working in Florida. And it's like, I come to Florida and you're going to move to South Carolina. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. But we lived our lives, you
Yeah,
know. We,
I know,
and
we
we
all
never
lived.
tried, and me and her never tried to control each other's lives like our older sister tries to control. She wants you to do the way she wants you, and we love her, but Dorothy can't control my destiny. Nobody can except for God.
Well, life gets real busy,
It does.
especially if you're trying to raise kids and then try to raise grandkids. And it's like,
Yeah, she's raising her grandchildren now, so because her oldest daughter has issues and things, but. So, Alan, I appreciate you doing this.
Like I said, I wish we had more memories of Larry because, as I said, by the time I was old enough to remember, he was gone.
Yeah.
And then when Cindy and I got married, we skipped up to Tennessee.
Exactly,
and
and
so
going
we
to
just, we
college
didn't
and-
see all
yeah,
that time.
exactly.
So there's a lot of life here.
I'll tell you a nice memory, though. I do
Yeah.
remember one now. Okay, we went up to Tennessee. We were newly married, away from family,
Yep.
which was scary, but probably the best
That
thing
was
that ever
Memphis,
happened to
right?
us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, first we went to Nashville.
Nashville.
Oh,
first.
you went to
And
Nashville
Alan
first, okay.
finished a year and 9 months at Lipscomb. And then we went to Memphis, and we were at Harding Grad School about a year and 9 months, right? And when he graduated from grad school, Larry and Annie Reed came up for his
Only family there, yeah.
Yeah, I heard that.
came up for his
Yeah.
graduation, which was really neat, very neat.
Yeah,
And
important
then we
things like that.
followed them back, didn't we?
Well, luckily he followed us back.
Because we had
Oh.
car trouble.
Yeah, what happened was I had a flat tire in my car right before we left, so
We were
jack on all
moving,
that. And I was in a hurry. We're trying to rush, and so we get down the road, and I'm also toting a little trailer behind me, U-Haul trailer, and all of a sudden I see Larry behind me. He's swinging out like this, and he goes back, swinging out like this. Oh, what in the world is Larry doing? And beeping at me. Well, finally I
And Alan's
stopped.
waving at him. He
Yeah.
said, he told me, I was like, oh yeah, hi.
Finally,
Yeah.
I stopped. What in the world? And he said, "Your tire's coming off of the car, the back of the car." And I hadn't put the lug nuts on tight enough. And they were going, and they had totally stripped off my lug nuts,
my-
and they were it was about to fall off the whole car. And so that was crazy. And
That's
here we
scary.
are in Holly Springs, Mississippi, on a Sunday afternoon, and I've got
Middle of nowhere, basically,
there's
right?
nothing. We're in the middle of nowhere. So we found a repair shop, not a repair shop, but like a 7-Eleven shop. But we talked to the guy, are there any repair shops around? He said, no, but I know a guy, and this is an all African-American area. I know a guy that has like a junkyard, maybe he can help you. So we go to this guy's house. It's really kind of a weird place, but it's way out in the country. A black man comes out, and we showed him the bolts that were all torn up, and he said, oh yeah, I got 5 of those, and we paid $5 and got 5 bolts on the Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock, you know, so
Yeah,
God was
well,
watching out for us, but
yeah.
it was just crazy, but yeah, that was really special
Wow.
when Larry and Andy came to that, so. Yeah, like I said, there's probably lots of memories, it's hard to,
Yeah, it is.
sort it out.
I have a lifetime of them.
But anyway, but I know Larry would appreciate more casual at the park than in the church.
Exactly. We got married at a park. We got married at the Bay Pines Veterans Park, and it was simple. I had a nice white dress and a hat, but we've never been fancy people. And we don't put on airs for others. We just, you take us as we are. If you don't like it, then there's, see ya, but we were unpretentious is the word maybe, or just, and he loved to go camping and outdoors. He didn't like fishing, which to my dismay, because I love it. So, but because he went deep sea fish, or he used to do deep sea fish, or commercial fishing when he was younger. And he would catch fish, I mean, you're talking humongous and stuff, and I get excited over a little minnow like this, and he went fishing with his friend Roy one time, and this was before I was married to him, and he caught a nice bass. Larry caught a really nice bass, and he started to throw it out, and I was told that Roy just about came out of that boat and flew over there to get that fish, because it was like, and Larry's good. I mean, you're talking of like 8-10 pound bass, and Larry's could throw it off. But he didn't like fishing, but he did like to be outdoors, and he liked to be on a boat. He lived on a houseboat for a while, or a boat for a while. And he said he was
You know that boat?
In Bradenton Marina. He lived in a boat.
Downtown Brady?
Yeah. and
Was
down
I in the picture then?
Probably not.
I don't remember.
It might have
That's
been
high
before.
school years.
Yeah, but he lived in a boat in Bradenton Marina and stuff, and he said he was laying there one time, he laid, and there was like a screen or something opening up above that he'd leave open and stuff, and he was sleeping one night, and all of a sudden a cat came through the thing and landed on his chest, and oh my God.
What was it?
A cat
Oh.
had fallen through the screen and landed square on his chest.
Larry liked cats a lot.
Yeah, he's always been a cat lover. I mean, he likes all animals, but we've only had the one dog since we were married.
Yeah.
It was Aunt Alice's. But he liked cats, and Tigger, who passed away a year ago, he was 20 years old. And even a year later, he sometimes would tear up because he'd think about Tigger, because Tigger was Daddy's cat, no doubt about it. And but he was very sensitive that way. But I'll just tell you guys a little bit about the end of his life. Over the year, he started getting steadily showing signs, and we didn't know about the ALS till a week before he died. But in April, my birthday 18th, my friend came from Michigan to see us and to hang out with us, and we went to the Azalea Festival in Pickens. And when we were walking back to our cars, he was using his walker with the seat by then. And when we were walking back, his legs gave out, and the walker went flying. He went down on the ground. And people came running from all around and got him back up and stuff. And then the next day, he was in our patio, and he went to come in the patio door, and he fell again. And he just continually started falling a lot, so he got real scared about falling. So he would hold on to the walker extra, and I got him knee braces to help. They had like metal rods and knee braces, and that helped a lot. But I got him anything he needed as far as to make it easier. But then he was at the nursing home for 21 days, and every time they went to try to get him out of the bed into the chair, they'd almost drop him. They and then his leg would get caught up under the. Hello, is
You
that
want me to
you,
chase
Larry?
them off?
Sure.
Yeah. Probably give
Oh.
them a couple claps.
And
They
anyway,
might chase you back.
But at the end, he got real insecure. He didn't want to be alone. He didn't want me out of his sight. He got real insecure. And then he would say, a lot of women would have just took off and left. They wouldn't have done this. They would have just said, oh, well, or stuck him in a nursing home. Now, he was only at the nursing home for rehab, But and he had a roommate, so the minute he would get, at 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm at the rehab place. And then they'd lock the doors at 11:30, that's when I would leave. So I was there the entire day, but at night, he would start, having anxiety attacks and stuff. So I've never seen him in my whole life, paranoid and anxiety, and it was hard.
But part of that was his medication,
Yeah,
don't you think?
I don't know.
I thought we read about one of his medications causing that.
It could have been, but he was really, to see him scared and afraid like that was heartbreaking for me. But I just, tell him it's okay, I got a lift for the house, I got him a hospital bed, I got him a raised, everything I could get to make it easier for him. But at the end, when you guys came on Friday night before he died, we talked. He was having trouble talking, but we were talking and I told him, because he said he was only here on this earth for me and for Ashley. And he said, I've got to be here for you guys. And so Friday night, I just wanted to let you know this. Friday night we talked, and I told him it was okay. That if it's time to go, it was okay. We would be okay. So Saturday, he pretty much slept most of the day. You guys came and sat with him, and I just wanted him to be at peace, But on Sunday, Ashley left the house. I told her at 4 o'clock, I think you need to get here sooner, because she was going to come the following week. And she drove from 8 p.m. all night and got to my house at 5:38. And she was able to talk to him. And we knew that when she was telling him, Daddy, can you understand? Can you squeeze your hand? And he squeezed. So we know he squeezed. And then we said, move your toes. And he moved his toes. So we knew. But he died peacefully. He just went to sleep. I saw him take 2 breaths. But he was never in pain. It was mostly just his muscles just deteriorated. But he was never in pain. It was more the anxiety and the paranoia.
Not being able to move, too. Yeah,
Huh?
and not being able to move.
Yeah,
that
and
was
on
very hard for him.
Friday, they wanted to take him back to the hospital because his oxygen level was so low. And I said, no, he doesn't want to die in a hospital or nursing home. So they said, well, if you can get hospice out here, they can get oxygen out here in an hour, where he would have taken days to get it. So I went ahead and put him on the hospice. And he just told me Friday night, he says, I just want to die at home with my loved ones. So he went in peace. He went to sleep. He just did 2 breaths. I remember going, and then he went to sleep at 11:20. And then Jana Lynn tells me that Annie Reed passed away at 11:20, around 11:20 also. And that was kind of amazing to me, that they would both die within a month of each other at the same time of day. And then that night, on Sunday, January 20th, Ashley and me and her friend Heather was on a video chat, and there was the blood moon. I don't know if y'all got to see it or not, but there was a blood moon. And we were out there that night outside my patio, and 11:20 is when the moon was completely covered. It was completely blood moon, and I thought, wow, what a sign, So, but he loved all of you guys very much, and he was a good husband. So, God bless you, Larry. Thank you for coming.